live. There we go. What's going on, everyone? Thank you all so much for tuning in at this time. Everybody that's here, I greatly appreciate it. Anybody watching this on the replay, thank you so much. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. What an embarrassment. I mean, they might as well just stay at home, right? Like, you got outplayed. It's one thing to lose a game, right? Team gets hot, shoots the lights out, something like that. That's not what happened here. Don't get me wrong, Dallas shot the lights out, but it was just effort. They out-hustled them, out-rebound them, outplayed them. Like, it's embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. Right? Like, that was a team that didn't want to show up. There's like 3 guys that showed up. Literally, Dorian Finney-Smith being one of them. Dorian Finney-Smith was doing all he can. He's only one guy. Like, yet Rui Hachimura is untouchable. Everybody on this roster is untouchable. I do think that a lot of that is posturing, but it's ridiculous at this point. Start Dorian Finney-Smith. He's better. He's the better guy. Better all-around player, better defender. He's shooting well, right? Yet we want to keep playing games. Yet we're supposed to be a championship team? Stop. Rui Hachimura in 25 minutes went 3 of 5 from the floor, 0 of 2 from 3, grabbed 1 rebound. The guy's 6'8". 1 rebound, 2 assists, 1 steal, was a -8. Like, Dorian Finney-Smith in 28 minutes gave you 3 of 4 from the floor, 3 of 4 from three-point range, 3 rebounds, 11 points, and was a +3. He was our only plus, the only plus of the game. It's crazy that Dorian Finney-Smith every game seems to be the only guy that's a positive for the Lakers. Right? Like, what was this performance? Seriously. Anthony Davis, like, what was AD doing? I mean, how many layups did we miss? How many bunnies did we miss between Anthony Davis and the other guys? It's so incredibly frustrating. So, like, again, not only did they not have Kyrie, they didn't have Luka, and they didn't have Daniel Gafford. Teams can still win. They're still NBA players. Again, Lakers just shot the lights out. It sucks. You know, you move on. Like, that's not what happened this game. Dallas, don't get me wrong, like I said, shot the ball very well. What were they from three-point range? They were 47.4%, 18 threes made. But rebounds 54 to 38. 54 to 38. They only had one center. Kleber was the other guy. And we got out-hustled, out-rebound, right? Like, can't defend the three. Yet, we don't need perimeter help. We absolutely need perimeter. We can't stop anybody. We literally cannot stop anybody. Every time we started gaining traction, we get it to 5, they just, boom, smack us again. Like, stop, relax, sit down, Lakers. You really thought you were going to come back? No, knock it off. I mean, at what point does this team start taking stuff serious? At what point do we start actually playing basketball and show that we're not even a contender, because we're far from a contender, but at what point do we show that we're actually like a competent team that can rattle off wins regularly? Right? It's one thing to lose to, a Cleveland Cavaliers or something like that. All right, you can justify that. Great team, tight game. But to lose to this team in the fashion in which you lost, they didn't just lose. They got dominated. Literally, pretty much start to finish, just got ran through. It wasn't even a game. Was it like the closest the Lakers got it to was like 5. And then they just right back up. They were down double digits the entire game. Like, at what point do the Lakers start being serious? It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. You let Spencer Dinwiddie, Klay Thompson, and PJ Washington smack you. Spencer Dinwiddie, 8 of 15 from the floor, 1 of 5 from 3, 8 assists, 1 steal, 6 rebounds, 19 points, plus 24, which is why I really wanted him to still be a Laker. That's one of the big things that we botched. Because Darvin Ham, because a lot of people I always see every time Spencer Dinwiddie has a good game, people are like, oh, he didn't do that for us. Because Darvin Ham played him as a 3-and-D wing. What was he for Dallas? He was a point guard. What did we need last year? A backup point guard. And instead of playing Spencer Dinwiddie as your backup point guard, you played him as if he was a 3-and-D wing. And he still wanted to stay. He still wanted to stick around. Right? I think with J.J. Redick, he would have actually gotten to play the backup guard role. I think he would have been maybe even our starting guard. Right? And I mean, look at the hustle. 19 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds, right? Like, we could use that desperately. Was a plus 24. Plus 24. Klay Thompson, 5 of 10, 3 of 6 from 3, 2 assists, 1 steal, 13 points. PJ Washington, 9 of 14 from the 4, 3 of 3 from 3, 8 rebounds, 1 steal, 22 points. I mean, you had, who was the other guy? Quentin Grimes was 6 of 11 from 3. He had 23 points. Quentin Grimes. he was 8 of 17 total. Jaden Hardy hit like 3 straight threes on us. He ended up having 15, 3 of 6 from the floor. You let a bunch of guys that are like into the bench guys dominate you and lose and just get absolutely blown out. I mean, literally everyone got outplayed, right? I mean, again, Dorian Finney-Smith showed up. He did his job. Austin Reeves, 5 of 14 from the floor, 4 of 11 from 3, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 15 points. He was a minus 25. He was our largest minus 25. They just attacked him and targeted him, and he was a sitting duck out there. But he's untouchable, right? When he has a good game, all the Austin Reeves stands, bet you there won't be a lot of Austin Reeves stands in this game, in this live stream. But when I'm honest about Austin Reeves, I don't know what I'm talking about. Austin Reeves is the GOAT. This, that, and the other. Well, he wasn't a GOAT today. He got absolutely bodied by Dorian Finney-Smith. Or not Dorian Finney-Smith, sorry, Spencer Dinwiddie, Quentin Grimes, and all these other guys. You know, like, it's so unserious at this point. LeBron had a near triple-double. Anthony Davis missed like 10 point-blank layups. Right? Where was Anthony Davis this game? He was a minus 19. It's just, again, like we just got dominated. Dalton Knecht had a good game. I'll give it to him. You know, he shot the ball better than he has been. Hopefully that can maybe get him in some type of rhythm. Jackson Hayes is unplayable out there. Jackson Hayes just out there for sport. Look, I've talked about it a million times. Jackson Hayes is great in like very small doses. When Jackson Hayes is out there for like 7 minutes, it's fun. But when you got to rely on him regularly, again, you got to get a point of attack guard or wing. You got to get a Bruce Brown or a Kuz or something like that. You got to get somebody that can help out on the perimeter so you're more switchable. So when you do trap that way, you have more size and length out there. You have guys that can, you know, do all those things. And you need to get a center. Whether it's Nikola Vucevic, supposedly the Lakers, you know, I've been in talks about that. Go get Vu, go get Bruce Brown. You got to do something. We need help rebounding. We need help defending out on the perimeter. Once again, team jacks up 43s. What I've said it a million times. People keep telling me we don't need perimeter. We need this, that, and the other. Well, every team shoots 38 plus threes from the Lakers, and Dallas shot 38 threes. Teams they know it's a shower party. Let them up. And then we just got to win a foot race. That's all we got to do. We just got to win a foot race against these bums, right? Like, and what happens every time? Teams just jack up a bunch of threes, and then they go win the foot race to go and get X, Y, and Z guy. It's ridiculous at this point. Ridiculous, right? We got to do. You got to make a move. You got to do something. You need to go get some consistency. You need to get again. Austin Reeves is not your third guy. You can't count on him on a nightly basis. He can't defend. And when he has nights like this where he's not scoring 30 points and giving you a near triple-double, it doesn't balance out. Right? Like, it's just, again, it's crazy. It's crazy. But we keep, it's the definition of insanity, right? Like, again, got to be patient. I don't want the Lakers to make a panic trade, but if you got to get a deal done, you got to get a deal done. Right? Like, you got to get something, whether it's Vu, right, whether it's, a Bruce Brown, whatever, whoever it is. You got to make some move. You got to make some type of just anything, right, to get us where we need to be. Because right now we're not there. Again, we keep losing to these bad teams. Dallas isn't a bad team fully healthy. If we lost to Dallas fully healthy this way, I'd still be upset. But, you can justify it. You can, Dallas is a really good team, all of that. This was one of the most important games that they've had this year, followed coming off of another important game, and you botched them both. We've seen this the last few years. Every time the Lakers need to show up, they don't show up, right? But it was, look, Darvin Ham was a bad coach, but it wasn't. I defended Darvin Ham on numerous occasions. Players don't show up. Darvin Ham can only do so much, right? He needed to go because he just wasn't a good coach. JJ, been a good coach. Guys still aren't showing up. Like, what are you supposed to do? How many coaches are we supposed to go through before we're like, you know what? It's just the team. It's just the Lakers, right? It's the players. Guys just aren't playing what they need to do. But Rui Hachimura is untouchable, right? Again, I really do believe that that's just posturing. I don't think that they're serious about that. But if it is true, then again, the Lakers are unserious. But anyway, I'm done ranting. Believe me, I could go another 20 minutes. Let me jump into the super chat questions. I see all the super chats coming in. Thank you. I appreciate it. Let's get all the super chat questions. Let's get into all the regular chat questions, all that stuff. Real quick, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for me, and let's get into it. So Shane, coming out $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Trade the farm for LaVine. Slowest, laziest team. Look, I'm still on board for LaVine. I think if you can get LaVine, you go get LaVine. I mean, Zach LaVine, like by himself, beat who was it the other night? Let me look that up real quick. Who was it? He literally, like, by himself. Like, dude, he by himself beat Boston, right? Like, again, people wanted Kyrie, but they don't want Zach LaVine, right? And look, I'm not saying who's better. Kyrie, I'd probably take Kyrie over Zach LaVine, but he gives you the same kind of idea, right? The same type of concept, right? Oh, Spurs, that's who it was. Zach LaVine dominated the Spurs. And Bulls were down like 19, I think, at something like that. He had 35 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, 13 of 25 from the floor, 3 of 6 from three-point range, 1 steal, only 2 turnovers, and was a plus 13. But people don't want Zach LaVine. You know, call me crazy. I'm crazy because I want Zach LaVine. It's so frustrating watching this team just be awful. But I'm with you, Shane. 70 Sports coming out the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Rui, AR, Gabe, Jackson Hayes all need to go. AR can't play against the least players. He can't. So everyone stop. Inexcusable. JR poor coaching game. Look, I'm not against trading Austin Reeves. I've said it a million times. I don't think you just trade Austin Reeves, just trade Austin Reeves, right? I think you got to get something of value, something of return. But yeah, I mean, the guy can't defend a traffic cone. Right? Can't defend his own shadow, let alone players. And unless he's like absolutely incredible, he gives you nothing. He's a liability out there. Right? We need to get help. Like Lakers need to get help. They need to make a splash and they can move. Problem is, I just don't think the Lakers are going to trade Austin Reeves. Like they're not going to trade an Austin Reeves for like a Zach LaVine or anything like that. So that's the problem. So if you're not going to trade Austin Reeves, then you need to go get like as much help possible. You know, like you need to get, if you're not going to trade Austin Reeves, you need to go get, you know, like I said, a Bruce Brown or something and go, or bring Austin Reeves off the bench, right? Like, again, I like Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves is a solid player, but he's a role player. He's not a star. He's not a superstar. He's nothing like that. He's a good player. You know, if he's your 4th, 5th guy, probably a really good basketball team. As your 3rd guy, it's a problem. Your only hope is that maybe you get enough talent to surround Austin Reeves, LeBron, and AD that like it kind of offsets it. But you know, like again, we've seen this a million times. You know, and I've said, look, people are like, oh, why you trade Austin Reeves for LaVine? Yeah, right. Imagine Zach LaVine in the Austin Reeves role. Imagine how much better the Lakers would be, right? Like, you know, I've said I wouldn't trade Austin Reeves for Zach LaVine simply on the fact that like I don't think you have to, right? Like if you had to, yes, he's the better player. Go. Who wins trades? The guy with the better team or the better player, right? Whoever gets the best player wins the trade. Right? Zach LaVine is the best player. He would literally be the best scorer on this team. Like natural scorer, that doesn't mean best player, just natural scorer. Zach LaVine would be the best natural scorer on this team, right? Like, again, people are like, oh, but his defense, oh, but his injury. He's been healthy this season. And outside of last season, he was played 77 games, 67 games, so on and so forth, right? Like, whatever you got to do, you got to figure it out, man. It's frustrating. It's infuriating at this point. Coswin coming out the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Every former Laker decided they're going to go out, facts against us, but don't perform when they play here. This was before we had Ham, so it's not just Ham. Exactly. Look, last season, I defended Ham a lot, like to my detriment at times. But because my point is like, at what point do you blame the players? Like that was my argument last season. Like, yes, Darvin Ham is not a good coach, but at what point do the players just have to perform, right? The players are the ones that are on the basketball court. The players are the ones that are responsible to show up on a nightly basis and play with effort, play with energy, play the game of basketball. You get paid all this money to play basketball. Show up and play basketball, right? Losses happen. It's fine, right? No, like if they just like again, if Dallas just hit 25 threes and there's just nothing you can do about it, then fine. But that's not what happened. They literally out hustled, outplayed us. They nearly doubled us in rebounds. Like, you're not winning very many games that way. It's not the coach. People want to blame the coach for everything, right? It's not the coach. I don't care who you have as the coach. If guys don't show up, the coach can only micromanage so much. A coach can only control so much. Coach can only design so many plays. You have to execute them, right? JJ isn't out there hitting threes and playing defense, right? Like, at what point is this on the players? Right? At some point, you got to blame the player. May, coming in hot $2 subject. Thank you so much. Trade Jackson, sign Koloko. He's better till we get a center. Yeah, look, I said that I prefer Koloko over Jackson Hayes myself. Koloko's just better. He's just more disciplined, right? Like Jackson Hayes is just energy, right? And when it's working, it's great. When it's not, you got to get the guy off the court. The guy's unplayable. Koloko is more within his box. He understands more, right? He might not be as insane energy as like Jackson Hayes, like this Energizer bunny that just keeps going. But Koloko is better defensively, better shot blocker. He still gives you that effort, energy, and energy, right? Or effort and energy, right? Like he still does a lot of the same stuff as Jackson Hayes, but he's more controlled, right? Like he's not so reckless at times. He can still run the floor. He still do those things. Lakers need a backup center. I still think the perimeter is the priority. I still think the perimeter should be. I mean, again, like Lakers are giving up 18 threes a game to people, and most of the rebounds are still long ball rebounds. But I do think you need to get like at least a better serviceable backup, and then maybe Koloko will, kind of be your third big. So I'm right there with you, May. Lance coming out the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. They picked on Austin all night. Exactly, 100%. Just talked about that, right? Like, again, like unless Austin Reeves is playing great, he's a liability. Can't defend, can't stay in front of guys. And they just kept targeting him over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. What do you think is going to happen come playoff time? They're going to target him over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Your only hope is, again, if you can get that defense, that point of attack, if you can get guys that better navigate screens, better fight over screens, you don't have to just like switch everything. So now Austin Reeves is like on an island trying to defend somebody he can't defend. Like the hope is if you get a guy like a Bruce Brown, just using him as example, whether people want him or not, using him as example, he's a guy that just better navigates screens. He can fight through the screens better, so he can stay in front of guys, right? That's why, like, Dorian Finney-Smith, you'll see, like, they don't switch at times, right? He'll just fight through the screen or get around the screen and then recover. If you get another guy like that, then hopefully you can kind of defensively mask Austin Reeves, because now Austin Reeves, like, even when they're targeting him, you have the help support and you have guys that can recover when they double, when they trap. Right now, you have guys with better quick foot speed, better understanding of positioning and stuff. It's kind of the hope, right? Because again, unless Austin Reeves is having a great game, he can't get it done defensively. No, he's okay at times. Like certain matchups, he's okay, right? Like if he's defending the third best player, sure, right? But like Lakers, they got to get something done. They got to get something done. He can't defend, right? So you either need to get enough defense to offset that and supplement that, especially LeBron. I got to give LeBron credit. He's been better defensively. He still will take possessions off and like won't challenge at times, and it's frustrating, but he has been more engaged and more locked in defensively. And, I try to take into account that he's in year 22, age 40. So, but you got to get that defensive help. You got it. Because Reeves is just, it's just, it's frustrating. 7 Days Sports coming out with another $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. He can't guard Spencer, who is a has-been. Rui can't guard, and he has totally lost his confidence again. Zach plays better defense than AR in game. Yeah, agreed. I mean, for people that talk so and I've said this, I don't know how many times, 100 times, if not more, on this live, because obviously everyone I'm sure is aware I'm a big Zach LaVine guy. I'm a big go-get Zach LaVine guy. But my whole thing is that, like, people are like, oh, but he's terrible defensively. He's really not. It'd actually be now with Dorian Finney-Smith, probably be our like fourth best defensive player. right behind like Anthony Davis, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Vando if he comes back. Like every year, Zach LaVine is either at or better than league average defensively. But Austin Reeves is not even close to league average, right? Like league average is like a 160 or a 116. Like Austin Reeves is like a 120, 121, right? Like every year Zach LaVine is in that range. What is Zach LaVine's defensive rating this season? Which he also doesn't have a ton of help defensively. Let's see, Zach LaVine defensive rating. Let's see. But come on, pull it up. All right. So he has a 118 defensive rating this season, which league average is 116.5. So he's slightly below league average. What's Austin Reeves? Austin Reeves defensive rating. Let's see. Reeves is he's a 118.2. So they're both basically playing the same level of defense. But even then, Zach LaVine is more consistent offensively, applies better rim pressure, scores the ball better, all of it. So I'm right there with you. But yeah, it's awful. Stakes. Rui's feet are stuck in cement. Shake my head. Yeah, look, I've talked about this a million. We played the Warriors, and like Steph had the ball. Rui got switched on him, and he knew that was barbecue chicken. Like, you just knew. Like, it's just like, come on. Like, Rui's not going to be able to defend this. But I thought at least there'd be an effort. Steph just did, like, a basic, like, jab step and then just, like, went by Rui. And Rui literally did not move from his spot. He literally stood there like this, getting ready to defend. Steph did a quick jab, and he was like, like literally, like, just turned his head around. Like, didn't move. Didn't try to, like, slide over and try to help. Didn't, like, go and be a help defender. Like, literally just stood there like he was stuck in cement. I was like, at least pretend. At least give me like, give me something. He literally did not move out of position. Like, he stood like this in his defensive stance. Steph went by, and he was just like, like, again, give me the, like, give me the fakeness. It's so frustrating. So incredibly frustrating. But anyway, thank you so much for Super Chats. Let's get into the regular chat. Tell some more trickle in. What did we do wrong to lose that bad? I didn't watch the game. This was so embarrassing. Everything. Didn't defend, didn't rebound, right? Didn't have effort and energy. Got out hustled, got out worked, got out played. Like, that's just what it is. Yeah, this game was awful. Awful. Lakers were embarrassing. This was embarrassing. Bro, this was downright embarrassing. We got outplayed. We need another shakeup of the roster. Just guessing effort. Yeah, you got to get some other trades. Hopefully sooner rather than later. JJ Redick gets a C in the season for not starting Dorian Finney-Smith. I'm done. I mean, I don't think you judge JJ Redick's entire season over not starting Dorian Finney-Smith yet, but I do think he needs to start Dorian Finney-Smith. I thought he would start Dorian Finney-Smith this game, and he did it, and that's frustrating in and of itself. You got to start Dorian Finney-Smith. I got it. At what point? And like I said, unless Rob Pelinka has told him, like, hey, we need Rui in the starting unit because I'm trying to work out trades. Because, again, there's reports that they're talking to Vucevic, and there have been, like, a lot of reports. Right? Like, starting to seem like it's heating up a little bit. And the Warriors supposedly want him. So you got to try to get him before the Warriors go get him. If you're going to get him, if that's the route the Lakers want to take. So it could just be that they're like, hey, we need to keep Rui in the starting unit. I don't know. But unless that's the case, you must start Dorian Finney-Smith. You have to. You have to. For Lakers, no urgency. Yeah, this is embarrassing. Let's see. Dallas didn't have Gafford, Kyrie, Luka, or Dante. Yeah. It was an absolute embarrassment. It was absolutely embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. Trade Rui, bro, is not untouchable. Agreed. There's no reason he should be untouchable. Jackson Hayes, 4 fouls in 4 minutes. We need a big man way more than we need guards. Now that I think about it, we get another 3-and-D guard is Connect and Reeves getting less minutes, shaking my head because they got blown by all game. I still think you need the perimeter help, right? Like we got dominated out on the perimeter. They were just out hustling us, chasing down loose balls. You need guys that can help. Like that's the recurring thing over and over and over again. Lakers give up too many threes. They can't defend out on the perimeter, and teams are just beating them to the 50-50 balls, right? Most of the rebounds the Lakers give up aren't on the interior. It's all like 15 out. It's all like free throw line out, right? Because teams are shooting a bunch of threes. Again, Dallas shot 38 threes. More than half of the rebounds were long ball rebounds. I'm not saying you don't get a center, period, but I'm saying, like, I don't think you necessarily need a Nikola Vucevic or anything. Like, if you got, like, a Bruce Brown and whatever, like a Kyle Kuzma or something, and then just got, like, a Day'Ron Sharpe, right? Like, I think you'd be better than if you got, like, a Vu and, like, a Bruce Brown, right? Like, again, I'm not saying don't get a center at all. I'm just saying, like, I don't think that they need like this primetime center, and there isn't really many out there, period. Michael, coming out $10 from chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Mavs are very deep, even without Kyrie and Luka. They are a playoff team by NBA standards, but they lost to a depleted Grizzlies. This team is unserious, only exacerbates their deficiencies. Right there with you, Michael. Again, I said this earlier. I don't know if you were here earlier, but I said earlier, if this was just one of those games where Dallas just shot the lights out and just, you chalk it up, it's like, man, like they hit 25 threes. Like, what are you going to do? We played good defense. We were in their face. Clay hit 10 threes, something crazy like that, which we know he's capable of. And it was just a bad night. Fine, right? We'd be having a very different conversation. But that's not what happened here, right? Like, yes, they shot the lights out, but it was beyond shooting the lights out. They literally shot the lights out and out-rebounded us, out-hustled us, outplayed us, everything. Like, it was domination. Dallas was there. It never felt like Dallas was going to relinquish the lead. Even when the Lakers made their run, right, and got it to like 5 or whatever when they were down like 15, it still felt like Dallas is just going to get right back in it, right? Like, that's terrible, right? The team is completely depleted, and the Lakers just keep botching it. It's absolutely wild. It's inexcusable. It is inexcusable, right? Like, again, Dallas is a good team. Any team can beat any team on any given night. We've seen Boston lost a 30-point lead and lost, right? It was up 30 and lost. Boston went 8 of 44 or something like that from three-point range the other night, right? Like, bad games happen, bad teams happen, or bad teams beat good teams. It happens all the time. But there's no excuse for you to get outplayed, out-hustled, out-rebound, outscored. It was just effort, right? If that was a tight game and you just lost, and like I said, Clay shot the lights out, that's very different than the display we just saw, the performance we just got. Again, that was inexcusable. Absolutely inexcusable. It's so frustrating. You got to get something done. Got to get something done. It's just so frustrating. So frustrating. But I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I would have lost if I was on the WFX. We just lost to Spencer Dinwiddie on WFX. Dude, Spencer Dinwiddie cooked. When will he start Dorian Finney-Smith? I thought he was going to start him this game. He needed to start him. Like I said, hopefully that's coming. Either that or it's something where, like, Rob was like, hey, dude, I'm trying to pull something off here. I need you to stick with him, right? Because it just outside of those two reasons, it doesn't make any sense, right? Like, Dorian Finney-Smith is the better player out there. Dude, he was our only plus. He was our only positive this game. And he's like leading the team in plus minus. And it's not like the D'Lo stat, like D'Lo was leading the team in plus minus, but like it's just, because a lot goes into plus minus. A lot of people, I get comments a lot about plus minus. A lot of people think plus minus is like an individual stat, like it's just solely based on that person's performance or production. It's not. It's based on the units that are out there. It's based on the opponent's team, like what they're doing, what our team's doing, the players that are in the lineup with him. Yet, no matter who it is, he has a plus, right? It's just, again, it's so frustrating. Let's see. I expect a huge out. Believe me, I just threw in on one. So, yep, absolutely embarrassing. Yeah, if we get Zach LaVine, this will all be fixed and we'll be the best team in the league. I don't know if it'll all get fixed, but a lot of it will, right? Like, Zach LaVine solves a lot, and that's what I've always maintained, like from the beginning, right? Like I've talked about, like what's the best singular trade? What's the best individual trade you can make that raises your ceiling the highest? It's Zach LaVine, right? You'll just get better consistency, better 3-point shooting, get better athleticism, right? You get a guy that can chase down the loose balls, he can make plays. He literally gives you the same stats Austin Reeves does, right? Like literally, like people talk about, but Reeves, the playmaker, stuff like. He literally he's having a near triple double every night, Zach LaVine, and he's still giving you 35 on a regular basis. And on top of that, he's more athletic. Oh, he's better defensively. Like again, it's just at what point do you make decisions? No matter your beliefs, Austin Reeves is not a point guard. You're preaching to the choir. You are absolutely preaching to the choir. I have screamed this repeatedly. Point of attack, ASAP, trade Rui, start Dorian Finney-Smith. Agreed. Right there with him. Just get Zach LaVine. Oh, we're good guys, am I right? Get Zach LaVine and then Day'Ron Sharpe. I think you're there. Because you got that 3-and-D wing, right? So you could literally go like Zach LaVine, Max Christie, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron James, Anthony Davis. I would move Austin Reeves to the bench at that point and then have Austin Reeves with, Dalton Connect, Cam Reddish, Christian Wood, and Day'Ron Sharpe. And let's go. Great game. Dorian, another reason to start him and trade Rui Hachimura. He does not fit well, never will yet. He's just the odd man out. Look, I said this before, two things. One, we all kind of just understood, right? We all kind of gave him the pass because it's like, okay, well, we don't really have any other options, right? Vando's hurt, Vando's out, right? So we don't really have any other options. And he's a 4 having to play the 3. So you kind of justify it. You got to knock it off, right? Like, okay, fine. But now you have that legit 3-and-D wing. You have a guy that can hit threes with consistency, and you have a guy that can defend 1 through 5. We've watched him do it. You need to start that guy. It's inexcusable to not start that guy, right? Like JJ has to make that adjustment. I mean, it's incredible. Like that should have been the adjustment this game after Rui's previous game, and we saw what Dorian Finney-Smith did. Every time Dorian Finney-Smith's in the game, good things happen, right? And it's like, why? Well, because he's doing everything out there. He's a dirty work guy. He impacts this game so much, and until you make that adjustment, it becomes a problem. The other thing is because Dorian Finney-Smith is exactly what we need as a 3-and-D wing, it has just shined a spotlight on Rui Hachimura. Where before it was just like, I mean, he's always been inconsistent, right? He's always been a defensive liability. He's always been the things we've seen since getting Dorian Finney-Smith. The problem is now you have Dorian Finney-Smith. So now it looks so much worse because it's like, why are we playing this guy when we have this guy, right? Where before you kind of justify it in your head. So LaVine and Day'Ron, I'm right there with him. Didn't even score 100 points, damn. Yep. We got to get Vucevic. I don't know if he'd want to come off the bench, though. You'd have to start. If you went and got him, you have to start him. My only concern with that is having LeBron have to play the 3 full time, right? Like, that's my concern. Because if LeBron plays the 3 full time, then kind of in trouble, right? Like, at 1, I worry about wearing him down. 2, I worry about, knock on wood, injuries. And 3, like, he's still, like, he's been much more engaged. He's been much better lately. Like, don't get me wrong, to his credit on the defensive side, but he still takes possessions off. He still doesn't contest and challenge a lot. Denver's trying to avoid Denver in the standings. Maybe that's what it is. Let's see. I did say what's going on. I did. I said it in the beginning. First, like, appreciate you. Yes, please take a quick second, hit that like button for me. If you haven't hit that like button. Yeah, lazy team, 100%. We got to stop with the lack of effort. Exactly. 80 missed 4 easy layups. Yeah. Max Christie missed like a point blank 1. Jackson Hayes missed like 2 or 3. Like Anthony Davis missed like 4. I'm not watching this team anymore. I can't. I don't blame you. Get rid of Rui. Agreed. This looks like the Celtics team against the Austin Reeves team last February. Yeah, just out-hustled them, out-played them, out-rebound them, all of it. Let's see. Yeah, nobody came to play. Exactly. JJ strikes again. He just keeps starting Rui. He's bad, man. He has to go. JJ Redick's not bad. I do agree that he's not he needs to start Dorian Finney-Smith. But JJ Redick's not the problem. Again, how many coaches are we going to fire before we look at the players, right? Like at some point we got to, 3-4 coaches in, at some point we got to go, okay, maybe it's not the coaches, maybe it's the players, right? Like, again, JJ Redick has not been perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but he's a good coach, and he has shown he's a good coach. Problem is that guys not showing up. You could have Pat Riley and Phil Jackson do the fusion dance and merge into one super coach. And if the Lakers play with that kind of effort, they're still losing, right? Like, again, it doesn't matter how good of a coach you have. Hey, being a Laker, man, you're Laker and Raider fan? Yeah, that's tough. Absolutely ashamed to support this team. Worst loss since LeBron and AD era by far. The only 3 players that were solid was LeBron, Max, and by far Dorian Finney-Smith. Yeah. Everybody was bad today. It looked like they didn't come. It starts with AR, get ISOs on, and then it goes LeBron being lazy, etc. Dorian Finney-Smith showed up. You got to give it. Like, he's one of the few guys that actually did. Grimes would be our third best player on the Lakers. You might not be wrong. Get rid of Rui now. I'm right there with it. We needed this. I definitely believe Redick will start doing this. You have to. Again, it becomes crime at this point, right? Like, it becomes criminal at this point if they don't start Dorian Finney-Smith Dorian Finney-Smith over Rui Hachimura. Like I said, the only way that you can justify it is if Rob's like, I'm trying to pull, like, hey, I need you to keep him a starting unit. I'm trying to, like, pull something off here, right? Outside of that, it's got to be that. We aren't even a play-in team. This goes for Phoenix too. Yet. Alpha Lakers made the casino a lot of money with that upset losses this season already. Yet. Ain't no way the Lakers are serious about saying Rui is untouchable. So the Lakers. So this is something else, and I already pre-recorded the video, so I probably should have. And I'm posting it on AAS the Lakers show. I should have probably made this a bigger point. So the Lakers didn't say that Rui's untouchable. Rival executives told Eric Pincus that Rui Hachimura has been a non-starter in negotiations. That could be for a numerous amount of things. Like, the Lakers have yet to say Rui is untouchable. The reason I think it's posturing is because we keep getting reports that the Lakers keep talking about, Bruce Brown and, Vucevic and all these guys that you would have to trade Rui for, right? So you can't say Rui's untouchable and then try to trade for guys that the only way you could get is by trading Rui, right? So, like, I think it's just posturing, 1. 2, again, rival executives say stuff all the time. Like, when was the last time you heard a report that a rival exec believes this and it turned out to be true, right? Like, rival execs say stuff for their benefit, to sabotage things for opposing teams, right? To just stir up unnecessary nonsense, right? Like, who's to say maybe they didn't have anything that the Lakers wanted for Rui, right? Maybe it was like, how do we know that they even talked about Rui, right? Like, I mean, there's a million ways that could shake up. So again, the Lakers themselves, like, it's not like Eric Pincus talked to a Lakers rep and they were like, hey, Lakers don't want to trade Rui, right? So again, just something to kind of keep in mind. Because I've seen a lot of like, oh man, Lakers don't want to trade, like, Rui's untouchable. And I've fallen into that too a little bit, but gotta clarify, right? You got to start him the next game. You have to. Back-to-back games for the Mavs, and they came out with confidence and energy and a bunch of no names and old Clay, though. Yeah, so the Lakers have not won a game, I believe. So, yeah, I think that they haven't won a game when they're the second team off of a back-to-back. So when a team plays and then they play the Lakers the next day, the Lakers have lost every one of those games. It's crazy. Crazy. Start Dorian Finney-Smith, bring back Kuz, and trade for Day'Ron Sharpe, please. I wouldn't be against that. Get Dorian Finney-Smith some help, please. Yeah. Help, dude. Yeah, thanks. Now is our chance to get a trade done. Home for the next 5 or so games. Yes. So I'm hopeful that that's the case. So, like, when the Lakers were on that, like, what was it? Like, basically they were at home till like January 3rd or whatever. I was like, that's a great time. When did the Dorian Finney-Smith trade actually happen? Wasn't it during that stretch? I think it was during that stretch. I said the same thing. I was like, this is the best time to do it. Feel the same way about the Lakers right now. This is the best time to do it. Right? You're at home. You can get guys acclimated, get some reps in, get some practices in, all that stuff. We suck, bro. You're not wrong. AD played so lazy and Rui so bad. Austin thinks he's great. Yeah. Ruiner Diaz said, yeah, you're not wrong. Lakers are not getting Rui. Let it go. What? Lakers are. I don't know what you're talking about. AR getting picked on the ISO was one thing, but those open threes that came from that is just pathetic. Honestly, everybody was pathetic defensively today. Lakers get Zach LaVine, Kessler, 2027 first. Bulls get AR, Rui, and Gabe, 2 second-round picks. You're saying Lakers get 2027 pick? Who's giving them a 2027 pick? Because Chicago's not going to give up a first for LaVine. They've already made that very clear. You might be able to get like an IO or something like that on the deal, but like if you're asking for a first from Chicago, I don't see them doing that. They'll probably just keep LaVine, although they shouldn't. They should get off of him, but you watch how we lose to Charlotte. You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. David, coming out to $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. How to improve our bench? Grimes scored the same number of points our bench got. Rui's not producing. Hate to admit it, but big gap between Lakers and top teams. Yeah. So the problem is realistically, unless you're turning like Rui into like 2 pieces, realistically, you're probably not going to be able to elevate the bench to the level in which you need. But if you can really like upgrade in the higher end, then that'll trickle down. Right? So like right now, it's like you got LeBron, AD, Reeves are like your top 3 guys, right? So you always got to keep one of those guys on the court. But then like you're inserting all these other guys that just like Connect and Reeves sharing the court together is not a good idea because neither can defend. And unless both are shooting the lights out, it's tough, right? Like if you get better balance, particularly higher end on the front end, then you can scatter those guys, which again won't upgrade the bench production, but you won't lose the bench games like the bench minutes as regularly, right? So like if you had, like I said, a Bruce Brown, right, and whatever, a Kyle Kuzma, or let's say Vucevic, right, because people want a center. Well, you could LeBron and AD could go to the bench. You could have Bruce Brown and Vucevic, so you still have a center that can impact the game, and then you still have a point of attack defensive guard, and then he can be slotted alongside Austin Reeves. You can take Austin Reeves out, put in Max, right? Like, so now you just have better balance throughout, right? Like, that's probably the best way you're going to balance the bench, right? And I mean, look at all the teams that have won championships the last few years. They've all had terrible benches. They've all been like 6, 7 deep, if that. Like, Boston last year was like 6, maybe 7 deep. Like, their 7th guy was like Peyton Pritchard. And he's been better this year than he was last year. Denver, when they won the series, like Bruce Brown was their 6th man, and then that was it. Like, I mean, they weren't even running a center. They were running Aaron Gordon as their backup, right? But they were still good, and they didn't lose the bench minutes because all those teams have better high-end front talent, right? So they can scatter those guys, and it's just a better impact overall. So the way you fix the bench is fixing the higher-end talent because you're probably not going to be able to get that impact off the bench unless you move like a Reeves to the bench or something. But I just don't think the Lakers are doing it, right? Ideally, in my opinion, I think you go get a Bruce Brown, or if you want to get a Valanciunas or whatever, or not a Valanciunas, a Vucevic or whatever, right? Then you do that. You bring Reeves off the bench and you insert another 3-and-D guy. So like, again, you could go, again, ideally Bruce Brown and like a Vucevic, because you could go like Bruce Brown, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Nikola Vucevic. And then now you have Austin Reeves, Dalton Connect, Cam Reddish at that point, and then Christian Wood. Maybe you bring in like a Dennis Smith Jr. or something like that, just to give you like that point of attack guy off the bench. And then now you're just better balanced and more front end. Those are really the only ways I see the Lakers being able to do this. So, yeah. But appreciate you. Thank you for super chat. Gabe played 24 minutes. with 0 points. Got to go. We need Vando back ASAP. Rui did nothing. 80 should have dropped 40. Jackson Hayes is horrible. I'm right there with you. Dinwiddie, where were you against the Nuggets? Again, Spencer Dinwiddie played as a 3-and-D wing, right? Like, Darvin Ham, for whatever reason, saw Spencer Dinwiddie in Dallas and Brooklyn play the point guard position and do it with some real success, right? Darvin Ham's idea was, hey, even though we need a backup point guard right now because Gabe Vincent was hurt all season, let's let Austin Reeves be the point guard, and let's make Dorian Finney-Smith, who is a point guard and is very good in the point guard role, be your 3-and-D wing. The only game Dorian Finney-Smith got to play the point guard position last season for the Lakers was when D'Lo got hurt and was out. Dorian Finney-Smith dropped, what was that game? Like 26-9? I think it was like 26, 6-9. And it was the only game the Lakers won without D'Angelo Russell last season. And instead of Darvin Ham going like, okay, so he was a point guard in Dallas. Then he went to Brooklyn, then Dallas, then back to Brooklyn, and then he came here. And then the one time I played him point guard, he has his best game as a Laker, and we win the only game without D'Angelo Russell. Maybe I should play him as a point guard. He went, nah, back to being a 3-and-D wing. I mean, even Dorian Finney-Smith was like, I'm trying to adjust to a new role. I've never played this position before. Yes, because he's a point guard. It's not a coincidence. Dallas played him as a point guard, and he torched us. He did this on Brooklyn, right? Like, Dorian Finney-Smith is capable of doing this. But for whatever reason, right, the Lakers, Darvin Ham decided that wasn't a good idea. Who did we even lose to? Exactly. You're not wrong. Lakers. I meant that's what. Lakers aren't serious. I don't really know what to say anymore. Yeah, I'm right there with you. AD stepped it up, started playing like earlier in the season, but he is a little banged up, but still at least some effort. Yeah, you got to at least show up, man. Go for Levine and Kessler and sell the house. Blaming LeBron James. Oh, it's somebody else. Damn, please just trade me Bradley Beal and Walker Kessler. Nah, stay away from Bradley Beal. If you're going to get Bradley Beal, you might as well get Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine's he's cheaper, surprisingly. He actually has better injury history. Or people that are like, oh, like if you want Bradley Beal, there should be zero reason you don't want Zach LaVine. And I've seen a lot of people that have told me I'm crazy for wanting Zach LaVine. Not all of them, but some of them have been like, oh, we should go get Bradley Beal. And I'm like, time out. Yeah. Like, but let's see. I'm just saying every time they took AD, they ran on 11-2. You going to need me then 1-3-and-D guy. Yeah. You're gonna need multiple guys. Like I said, I'm not saying don't get a center. I'm just saying, like, I don't think you need like a high-end center, right? Like, go get like a Day'Ron Sharp would be fine. Go get Day'Ron Sharp and then go get, like a Kuz and a Bruce Brown or something like that. Or get Kuz and Malcolm Brogdon. Although I worry about his injury histories, but I wouldn't be mad about Cam Johnson and Day'Ron Sharp. The problem is I think, and again, I could be wrong, this is just my guess. I think Cam Johnson is going to be a Thunder after January 15th. Like, within like a week. The only reason I don't think he's a Thunder now is because they're waiting on Isaiah Joe and Andrew Wiggins, or not Andrew Wiggins, what's his name? Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins. There we go. And Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins, they're not available for trade until the 15th. So Cam Reddish I believe was out this game with like back tightness or something like that. And then Shake, they went with Gabe instead. Let's see. I'm done with JJ's stupidity. Is he using his head? Rui can't defend. What the heck is he's still in the starting five? Yeah, I agree with that criticism. better get an assistant coach who knows what defense is. JJ didn't know what defense is. I mean, they have, Scott Brooks and what? Why am I blanking on their name? Nate McMillan. There we go. Both guys have been very good defensive scheme guys. There's no reason. There's no way Reeves should be taking more shots than LeBron, especially when he's not hitting. It's one thing when he's shooting the lights out. Yeah, sure. Keep going. Feed the hot hand. But Lakers are doo-doo water. Not wrong. This is embarrassing yet. When the broadcaster showed that the Mavs were 1-12 without Luka and Kyrie before the game, told myself, watch the Lakers find a way to lose this game. And, of course, yeah, it's wild. It's absolutely wild. Yeah, no Gafford either. Reese can't guard nobody yet. Yep, this was. AD was looking lost with no synergy, no motor, no effort. AD is a great player, but he lacks the mentality. Look how bigs like Jokic, Cat, Allen, or Evan Sabonis got the dog in him yet. There's nobody that wants to play defense. He's supposed to be coming back soon. He did 5-on-5 drills with the coaches. Next step is him doing 5-on-5 in practices. So fingers crossed he's back in like a week because he'll help a ton. The problem is even when he gets back, he's probably not going to be the Jared Vanderbilt we know and love, right? He's probably still going to take some time to really getting back to that. So today wasn't on a single play. It was everybody that was free, open. They're on multiple possessions, pathetic. No getting rebounds, pathetic. On top of that, fact that randomly shot well, it doesn't help yet. Exactly. This was just a game. It was a bad game. It's terrible. Would LaVine transform this team's culture? In a sense, right? Like, as far as like his ability to score and shoot over the top, apply rim pressure, do all that, like it would change the identity of this team for sure. Like without a doubt, change the identity. Again, Zach LaVine would be our best player, not named LeBron James, Anthony Davis right now. And then he'd be our best natural, like pure scorer. Let's see. No Luka or Kyrie, which makes the Lakers worse. They suck no matter who they get. It's no starting point on this team and no backup big. They gonna keep losing games. They gotta figure some stuff out. They gotta address something. Let's see. When Clay hit those 3-pointers in a row, it showed a lack of effort and athleticism, man. Not closing on the guy. Dude, what's his name, man? I'm blanking on his name. Jaden Hardy. There we go. Jaden Hardy hit like 3 in a row too. And instead of like actually defending him and putting a hand up, they just kept letting him shoot. Go get LaVine. What were they waiting for? Yeah, seriously. Quitting Grimes effects. We keep switching everything. This never changes. And then we run over screens. We get dunked on. You need a backup defender here. It's been a mess. We were 6.5-point favorites. We took them for granted. And I've said before, we should have kept Dinwiddie because scam him, didn't play him correctly. Spot on, 100%. I'm right there with you. AR can't defend anyone. Yes. Dorian Finney-Smith was the only good player yet. Terrible loss. Yes, agreed. Literally, if we face OKC in the playoffs, they shouldn't even show up. I actually like the matchup against OKC. I'm not gonna lie. Austin Reeves, he shouldn't be untouchable. Again, I'm not saying you don't trade him just to trade him, but if the right deal is there, if the right move is there, yes, you trade him. Or, like I've said, if you like, let's say you get a Zach LaVine, then I think you should turn Austin Reeves into a 3-and-D guy because now you don't need Austin Reeves, right? So, like, either A, you need to bring Reeves off the bench, or B, you need to replace him with because you technically got the upgrade. So, like, I've talked about like turning Reeves into a Bruce Brown if you get Zach LaVine. I wouldn't trade Reeves for Bruce Brown right now, but if you get Zach LaVine, well, now Reeves becomes a redundancy. So if you can get him without giving up any assets or anything like that, then fine. Now you get to keep all your assets. You got Bruce Brown, Zach LaVine, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. Who's beating that team in a 7-game series? Right? I like that. Even if you love Reeves, you can't tell me Bruce Brown, Zach LaVine, LeBron, or Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis isn't better than Austin Reeves, Zach LaVine, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. He turned into prime gold. Yeah, facts. Dorian Finney-Smith and Dalton should be untouchable, and everyone else, including AD and LeBron, should be untouchable. Yeah. Let's see. Nick Richards, 15 and 12 and 25 minutes off the bench today. Go get him. I would love Nick Richards. I am all for Nick Richards. The problem is he even available? Right. One of the big problems is Mark Williams can't stay healthy. So will they even trade him? Like, I would go get Nick Richards tomorrow if you can. I just don't know. We don't have any reports that he's actually available. All the reports are just that Lakers have inquired about him. Right. So it's not the same thing as him actually being available. AR was dog poop today. I'm surprised no other team ever ISO'd on him. Yep. And you want to know something funny? Where are all the Reeves lovers? Right? Every time Reeves has a good game, they're all in this chat. Are they not? Like people that are here regularly, all the Reeves lovers are always talking mess, telling me I'm an idiot, telling me, oh, you still want to trade Reeves? Look, and where are they right now? Where were they? What was 3 games ago when he was terrible, right? Like, it's funny that every time he has a bad game, they don't show up, right? But when they have a great game, they try to pretend like the bad games didn't happen. It's hilarious, right? Like, seriously, we're all the Reeves lovers, right? Like, every time Austin Reeves has a good game, I get flooded with Reeves comments, like positive, like, oh, I'm an idiot, like, you don't know basketball, blah, 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 right? But Austin Reeves has a bad game. And where are they? Where are they to defend their guy? I thought that was their guy, right? Just pop it out your mouth and come defend your guy, right? Where are you? Every time. It's so funny. But no, they don't want to defend their boyfriend. Walked into our bench. So does Jaden Hardy. He's out of bench. Scores yet. I want to take this team serious and support them, but they make it impossible. They do. You're right. 100%. 100%. We need an athletic ball handling guard that can play a slight bit of defense. Yes. Go get Zach LaVine. Get Kuz and Val at this point. Yeah. You know what's funny is I have a video about that very thing. I was going to post it earlier today, but then we got like the Vucevic news. So I'll probably post it tomorrow because I already had it done about the very thing. Like, do you just go and do the Wizards trade? All right, I'm going to do a handful more comments, and I'm going to skate on out of here because actually we might be able to get some, like, normal sleep. That'd be nice. All right, let's get in. Let's do a handful more questions. Obviously, Super Chats take priority, but outside of that, let's do as many as I can in the next, 5 minutes. Every other player turns into Michael Jordan when they play Lakers. Facts. Team don't respect the stress organization. Reeves would go 1-17 under the OKC playoff pressure. That's my point, right? Imagine Austin Reeves being just hounded by Alex Caruso and Lou Dort all game long. Let's see. Search reminds me. I'm trying to be respectful, but oh my God, gave Viz yeah. Reeves is him. He was today for sure. I'd be willing to give up our 2029 20 or 31 first for Kessler, or only 1 first round pick and take protections off the Jazz pick. Not just for Kessler. If Kessler was the only thing we needed, then sure. But we need more than just Kessler. Right? If you could get him for a first, I would do that tomorrow. Or like a first and then remove the protections. Like, as long as you keep a first, right? Whatever you want to do. Right? Like, I've even said, like, I'd be okay with trading Connect. Like, if you could do Connect in a first for Kessler, I would do it. Right? I love Connect, but he's older than Walker Kessler, and Walker Kessler just fits a bigger need. We use a traffic cone. Io and Zach is amazing. Yeah, that would be solid. Get Io, Zach, and then like I don't know if you can. You'd have to trade Reeves, I think, because Io, Zach would be 50 million, and then get like a Dayron Sharp. So that'd be like 55 million you'd have to send out. So I'm pretty sure you'd have to trade Reeves because Rui, Gabe, Vando get you to what, 20, what is it, 28, 38, right? Jalen Trufino and Christian Wood get you to 44. So you'd have to trade Max Christie or Austin Reeves. I would personally keep Max Christie because 3-and-D. And again, if you're getting Zach LaVine, you need Zach LaVine. So trade Austin Reeves, right? Now you get Austin Reeves' replacement in Io, who's more athletic and a better defender, and then can be your point guard alongside Zach LaVine. And then you got Dayron Sharp as a backup. Imagine Io, LaVine, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. You're athletic, you're versatile, you're defense, you got shooting, you got playmaking, and then I got Dayron Sharp as a backup. Let's go. Got another super chat. May coming out the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. James Worthy totally summarized the entire season tonight when he said, "Sometimes I wonder if they really want it. We can beat anyone when we show up." Yeah, 100%. Right? Like this Lakers team has shown, like when they lock in and invest in winning, they can win. Problem is, you don't know which team is showing up, right? You don't know which team is going to be that tonight. Are we getting the Lakers? Or are we getting the Lakers, right? Like, which team is it, right? Like, and that's the problem, right? Like, we need the Lakers to be the Lakers on a regular basis, right? They play down to their competition. Whenever they play a bad team, it just feels like they're tight games. They're not handling business the way that they're supposed to. When we play a good game, we're in those games. We're fighting. It looks like we have a chance to win. You can't pick and choose. You got it. Like, good teams are good every night, right? Sure. Do they have outlier nights and, bad games? Sure. Bad games happen. But 9 nights out of 10, they're good. Even if they lose a game, they're good, right? You can't say that about the Lakers, which is why I've said I just don't believe the Lakers are a contender. That's why I've maintained Lakers aren't a contender. I think they're a good team. Right? I think that they have a puncher's chance, but they're not a contender, and that's the problem. But May, I appreciate you. And Stakes coming in hot with $2 super chat. I think I'll end the stream here. Obviously, if I get another super chat, I'll answer that. But I think I'm gonna end the stream here, so I can go do some work and try to get hopefully some decent sleep. What do you think about getting Lonnie Walker back? Personally, I don't. I understand the justification of it gives you some bench scoring, but the problem is where does he slot in? Where does he play? Right? Because let's assume that we have an open roster spot, right? Chances are you're probably going to need a point of attack guard. Unless maybe if you get a Bruce Brown, maybe you could justify getting a Lonnie Walker. Lonnie Walker would be towards the end of my list, right? Because can't defend. He's a liability. We all know he's a liability defensively. Hi, baby. But on top of him being a liability defensively, right? He's a vacuum scorer. He's hot or he's cold, right? When he's hot, it's great. But when he's cold, you need to be able to have a guy that can supplement that. I just think it depends on how the rest of the roster shapes up. I think it depends on, what do you have? What if they got say they got a Bruce Brown and a Kuzma or something, and they had 2 open roster spots and they need it's hey, we need some guard depth, then sure, go get a Lonnie Walker and a Dennis Smith Jr. so you can always have a defensive guard next to Lonnie, then sure. But just straight up, then no. I personally, I'd stay away. That's just me. But anyway, I know I'm getting off. I know. I want attention. You want love. I know. I haven't given you attention in over an hour. What was I thinking? But anyway, like I said, I'm going to skate on out of here. Thank you, everyone, so much for super chats. I'm going to go get some work done, get you guys some videos up and stuff like that. But again, I appreciate you all. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. Thank you for everyone that gave me super chats. Thank you so much. Seriously, I really appreciate it. Helps me out a ton. Also, on your way out, please take a quick second, hit that like button for me, hit that subscribe button for me, and hopefully we bounce back. Hopefully we go on a little streak here. Can I end the stream? Thank you. I'm sorry, am I not petting you? I appreciate you guys. I'll see you all in. All right, let me end the stream. There you go. In the next one. Peace.